Hi, welcome back to Music Theater Sound Lab, where we talk about all facets of writing and producing great theater music like a music producer. I'm Joanna. So glad you could make it. Today we're digging in and creating an information-dense vamp. What is a vamp, you might ask? Well, in the musical theater space, this refers to a few bars of music that has a bit of a song that doesn't end feel to it, in that you can repeat it as many times as needed, whether that be for the purposes of buying time during a scene or a costume change, or leaving room for actors to take an emotional beat, or really any other number of necessary moments to take some time without stopping the music. But what should that music be? Especially if it doesn't stem from a song that was already in motion. How do we create an effective vamp that not only feels musically satisfying, but also provides dramatic information? Well, we're about to find out. Sound Lab time. All right, so I've used a random location generator to kind of just get us started here today. And some options that I were given were subway, unemployment office, carnival, casino, and aquarium. So for today, I think we're going to go with unemployment office. Did you think I was going to say aquarium? I already had ideas about what water maybe could sound like, so I was like, nah, adults being made to keep still for extended periods of time while dealing with an inner frenetic frustration. That's where the real magic is. Mwah, chef's kiss. Let's do that one. Now, I could do this with only that one piece of information. Knowing that it's set in an unemployment office, we could just go with that. But really, when writing a vamp, the first question is, whose vamp is this? And that would mean, let's say there's 3 people in this scene. Whose perspective are we painting? Or are we strictly setting a scene before we know anything else? Because maybe we can provide information with our vamp. Ideally, yes, that's what we want to do. We want to provide more information with our music. So let's say that this piece is a dry, nuanced comedy set largely in an unemployment office. And the scene at hand is very early in Act 1, and this is the first time that we're here in this particular location. Some of them are in line, some of them are working at the office, and the purpose of this vamp is to introduce this office as a bit of a character all its own, like they do with New York City. It's sort of a character all its own, so we're going to do that. In order to do this, today our workflow will be 1. List out what is in the space that we're writing about. Really picture this setting visually. 2. List or describe any accompanying emotions that we need the audience to experience. 3. Establish an appropriate tempo that supports these ideas. 4. Create a repetitive musical figure, also known as a vamp, that captures this essence. Now, it needs to be said that there are a number of different ways to arrive at a vamp. This is certainly not the only way. Sometimes we're literally just looping a few bars of music that were just heard. But if we want to introduce new information, if we are creating nearly interstitial music, nearly instrumental music, nearly score that lives under a scene and under a moment, then this might be more of our approach. Also to note, this is a bullet-pointed list to really lay it out on the table. But are we going to do this exactly step by step in our workflow anytime we write a vamp? Probably not. But if we're not sure how to get there, this will get us going. So for number 1, what is in our space physically? I am very blessed to say that I have never spent time in an unemployment office, but according to some Google images that I've searched, kind of looks something like this. So what's in this space? So I see dividers to corral the public. Cool. I see commercial tile. I see dividers creating little cubicles. I see overhead fluorescent lighting, the most attractive. I see government signage abounding. These people look pretty chill, although I don't know if chill is the word so much as bored. Waiting is probably more the idea. Okay, getting a vibe. Emotionally, we're probably feeling pretty down. This is not a good place to be. We're here because we are out of work. We're frustrated at the loss of a job. No one, or I guess mostly no one, is here to have a good time and hang out here. This is not the local hang. We are here out of pure necessity. I feel like, honestly, it takes me a long time to get to music in most cases because I have a lot of questions and it could just go so many different ways if I'm writing music for drama's sake. Music for music's sake is like, oh, I heard a bird. That's the key I'm in. Music for drama's sake? Particular questions to answer. We kind of can't just do whatever. So I try to gather as much intel as possible before diving in. So that's where we are now. When I finally do get to writing the music for a character or a scene, I like to start with a tempo. Now, there are a couple of reasons for this. Number one, I believe that we all have a sort of inner resting tempo. So if I can hone in on that, that can become a clue for what my song maybe should feel like. And number two, my own inner tempo, my own default resting tempo, if you will, is like around 90 BPM or something, and that's just too slow for most things or a lot of things. So my hack is to start myself off with a faster tempo in order to work against my own leanings. LOL. So this tempo I feel like should be plodding. It plods along. So I'm going to pull out my metronome and we're going to start moving to see what that equates to numerically. I love the Metro Timer app. That's like kind of my go-to. Let me grab that image. So let's say we walk in slow. We don't really even move much at all. Step. Step. There's actually probably a point where we kind of do that thing where like it's not really moving. Somebody else is moving in front of you, but you're not moving yet. You're gonna move, but not yet. I'm getting around 30 beats per minute. Okay, let's go there. So I've got a session open. Let me set this to 30 and see where this gets us. So I just went ahead and did a couple of little setup things inside my session that we didn't really need to see. And now I'm thinking, this is in my own head, but when I look at this, there are no frills. And when I think no frills, this equates to pentatonic modality. To me, that's kind of what I hear, because chromaticism I think of as a bit of a romantic touch. This is not romantic. This is the opposite of romantic. Let's hear that tempo again. Ooh. Space. Empty space. All right, so that sounds very dark. That can't be it, because this is a dark comedy, but not dark like foreboding. This is dark like laughing at something that makes you want to cry, kind of dark. So maybe I'll start faster to get the harmony that I want, and then I will bring in this tempo and see how that feels. Repetition. Okay, as I've mentioned, I like this feeling of a lot of empty space and this ticking clock feeling paired with repetition, and I need a little bit of humor. And so then the question becomes, what's my element of humor? How do I know that it's okay to laugh, right? So something I need to get out of this vamp is that it's okay to laugh. Music on its own, I feel, is inherently unfunny. It is comical, humorous. It doesn't inherently have comedy. It needs context. So Wes Anderson level of laughter, that's where we're shooting. I want the laugh to be like that kind of a laugh. So I'm trying out some repetitive staccato things paired with sustained notes. And to me, that element of humor might be like the use of a dominant seventh or the use of a chromatic note where I don't usually expect it. Maybe. We'll try. Let me get that tempo. Ooh, it's hard to play that slowly. My energy's a little too up for this. Undo. I'm not going to worry that it's hard for me to hold down this slow tempo right now. I'm going to increase the tempo instead. And then I'll slow it down after I play it. I'm liking what we have here. That beginning was a misfire. Let's cut that off. But I'm going to quantize this to, well, first of all, we don't want to swing, that's for sure. And maybe only till around, my magic sweet spot of like around 75%. Listening back. I am getting some of the vibe there. So let me express some of my justification of why I feel like this works for me right now. So here's my thinking. Your thinking can be anything. This is art in the end. This is expression, interpretation, but it's always helpful to have your own reasoning for something. I feel like the audience will get that on a level that you can't really express in words. So I'm going to try to express it in words. We've got this boom, boom. That's our relentlessness, and the slow, spaced out tempo of it is just giving us fatigue. I go with this pentatonic open kind of fifths and octaves kind of space to paint a picture of plain no romanticism. Then I go for a minor interval. But I resolve it to a major interval because it's okay to laugh. So there's my moment of like, this is terrible, but we're kind of laughing kind of in a straight-faced way. Then we have it again. Some more chromaticism, but then resolving within the structure of the key. So again, okay to laugh. And so if I were to further develop this with more instruments, I might add in something that creates a bit of friction. I wonder if there's something I could just pop in that sounds like a clock. God, no. Maybe the word is tick. Dot, 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 dot. That feels a bit tripletty, but I can't tell if it's just a syncopated upbeat. Let's experiment for one more layer just to try this out. If you notice, I haven't changed the tempo yet. I'm actually second guessing my tempo because maybe, and here's where my inner flaw comes in. Maybe what I read as the real tempo of what that would feel like to stand in that line on stage, that might be too slow. Maybe. Let's hear what this is. I have an idea. I'm going to chop that up into a single and then place it where I want it. Okay, so I have it pasted across the board. Let me lower the volume. Okay. Don't need that last one. Any slower than that, I don't know that I can handle that. I really do like what we have here. Do you feel frustrated by this vamp? Because I feel really frustrated by this vamp. Is this music making you want to jump out of your skin from waiting in this would-be line? Do you smell the publicly funded walls and the people farting all day long? I wonder what kind of a song that this sets up, because with almost zero context, it's pretty hard to say. If you end up writing the rest of the song or the rest of the moment that this is based on, please share it with me. I want to hear it. God, the waiting. Let's hear it one more time. Sorry. So to quickly rehash the process of how to arrive at a vamp that supports your scene and provides information, very important, we need to 1. Clarify the objective of the vamp. 2. List out what is in the space. Really picture the setting visually. 3. List or describe the accompanying emotions that we need the audience to experience in this moment. 4. Establish an appropriate tempo that supports these ideas. 5. Then create a repetitive musical figure that captures this essence. Well, I hope you had a good time today, because I definitely did. So if you want to support me and my channel, you can glonk that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future videos. And you can also support me by buying me a coffee using the link in the description below. Though, in all honesty, it'll probably go back into supporting this channel. Or maybe literally coffee. We don't know. I'll see you real soon. Bye.